Hello everyone. So today I'll be discussing about the application of trigonometry. So application of trigonometry is generally used in while we have to measure some heights of a very tall building or a very tall tree or width of a big river. Then it is very useful, and also for many surveying purposes, as for measuring heights of mountain peaks and okay. So main basic idea is like this. As you know, in a right triangle, how we define the trigonometric ratios, that is, in a right triangle we have defined any one of the acute angle to be theta, and then the opposite side was perpendicular, adjacent side was base, and this was hypotenuse. This all you know. Then we have defined various trigonometric ratios, 6 trigonometric ratios we have defined. So suppose this is a building, say, whose height we want to measure. This is a building, say AB is a building, very tall building or tower, whose height we want to know. So indirectly you can do it with the help of trigonometry. How you see? So suppose suppose I stand here and observe the top of the building, okay? Then there will be line of sight, and if I can measure this angle, which is possible with the help of an instrument, say theodolite, and if I can measure the distance, this distance from the foot of the tower or building, from my observing point, then this is possible to measure. This distance B I can measure. Then this is my this height is your perpendicular. So this height of the building H, or by the say this C, say base B, which is your AB by BC. This will be what? This H is nothing but, for not confusing, let me write, because you may be confused. The height of this building is nothing but the perpendicular of this triangle formed. So it is perpendicular by base. So it will be tan of theta. So you see, this P is our height of the building. So if I can, I can write AB is equal to BC into tan theta. So you see, I can measure BC. I can measure this tan theta with the help of an instrument, theodolite. So I can measure the height of this tower or building with the help of trigonometry indirectly. Similarly, in this way, suppose there is a river, very wide river, and you want to know the width of this river. Then again, what we can do, and these are the banks, you can measure the height of a tree. Height of a tree, say I have taken a tree here. This height of tree can be measured, and if from here, this point, if I can look at the top of this or look at this here in this way, this angle can be found out by the instrument theodolite. So again here, this is unknown. This base, this is your theta. Now this base is unknown, but this perpendicular is now known to us, because some person on the other side of the bank will be able to measure the height of the tree. So in that case, the height of the tree, say this is P, and by the width of the river will be your tan of theta. So this P can be measured, tan theta can be measured helping instrument, so this W can be found. So these are the indirect way of measuring height of a tall building or tower, or width of river or something else. That is this distance. That means another we can say, we can measure distance, unknown distances or unknown height. Height and distance can be measured with the help of trigonometry, and this is the basic idea. That is, height by base is tan of theta, and tan theta can be measured with the help of an instrument, and if either any one height or base is possible to measure, we can be able to get the value of the other by trigonometric ratio. That is the idea, or that is how we apply trigonometry in height and distance measurements. Okay. So now I will be solving some questions where I will be showing the applications. Before that, you have to know two very basic definitions, basic terms, which is very much essential in this kind of application of trigonometry. So these are two terms. Let me write down. The first one is known as angle of elevation, and the other one angle of depression. Angle of depression. These two are very important terms that you should understand. So let me explain. Suppose this is a ground level, okay, ground, and some observer is at this point, say at the point A, some observer is here, and so let me write one more thing. It will be better if I do in this way. This if I written is a ground level, no? So some observer, suppose a person, this much is tall. So here is the observer, but his eye is here. So this is very important. Eye of the observer. Who is observing the thing? Eye of the observer. Okay. And here is the object C, which is looking. So what will be this? Here is the eye of the observer, this point, and here is the object. So this line joining the object and the eye of the observer will be known as line of sight. Okay. Then what we do? I have to draw a horizontal line through the eye of the observer. It is very important. That means this is a horizontal line through the eye of the observer. Okay. Then the angle between this line of sight and the horizontal line through the eye of the observer, this will be known as the angle of elevation. Why angle of elevation? Because the object is elevated from the person. The observer is here below and the object is above the observer. It is elevated object, so it is known as angle of elevation. And the same thing, suppose if the object is below the eye of the observer, suppose now I have to change it. Now it cannot be a ground, suppose now suppose the observer is here and he is looking something, say here, below his eye level. Now if the object is here, then when he is looking at the object, this will become his line of sight. Line of sight. Okay. So basically, line of sight is always the line joining the object and the eye of the observer. So then the angle between this line of sight and the horizontal line to the eye of the observer, this one will be known as angle of depression. Actually, basically both are same thing. Since the object is below, so it is angle of depression. It is depressed, so it is angle of depression. It is elevated, so it is angle of elevation. So basically both are, so I can tell now that this both the angles are, both angle of elevation and depressions are angle between the object, or let me say angle between the line of sight and the horizontal line and the horizontal line through the eye of the observer, through the eye of the observer. So this is basically this, and these angles are nothing but the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal line through the eye of the observer. And what is the line of sight? Line of sight is the line joining the eye of the observer and the object. Eye of the observer and the object. When the object is above, it is the angle known as angle of elevation, and the object is below the eye of the observer, it is angle of depression. That is the very basic things. So these things should be very clear, because when you will be solving some question, so it will be very important first to locate where is the eye of the observer rather than the observer. Where is the eye of the observer? Because I have to draw a line, horizontal line through the eye of the observer. So it is important to look at the eye of the observer rather than the observer, and to look at where is the object so that I can draw the line of sight. So when I'll get these two lines, I'll know the angles of elevation or depression. Okay, so we'll solve some questions showing these applications. Okay. So this is the first question that I have taken. From the top of a 7-meter high building, the angle of elevation of the top of a cable tower is 60 degree and the angle of depression of its foot is 45 degree. Find the height of the tower. So let us visualize the situation. So there is a building and there is a tower. So let me draw the ground level first. So you see, this is our ground. Okay. Then there is a building. So this is the building, which is, this building is your 7-meter high, tall building. So this is your building. And there is a tower. Cable tower will be taller than building. So this is the tower. Cable tower. Okay. Now we have to find the height of this cable tower. That is, this is the total height of the cable tower. We have to find out. Now we have to draw the diagram correctly. That is the very important part. So first of all, what is given? Let me see. The angle of elevation of the top of the cable tower. Now see, this is the top of the cable tower, is not it? So this is my object. And where is the eye of the observer? Let's see. From the top of the building, from the top of the 7-meter high building. So here is the observer. So here is the eye of the observer. So here is the eye of the observer. So I have to draw a horizontal line through the eye of the observer. Okay. So this is horizontal. And then line of sight eye, this is your eye and this is object. So this will be the line of sight. This is your line of sight. And this is the horizontal line, so obviously this will be the angle of elevation. And according to the question, it is 60 degrees. See, from the top of a 7-meter high building here, the angle of elevation of the top of a cable tower is 60 degrees. So this is 60 degrees. So what is the object? Object is the top of the cable tower. So this is object. And where is the eye of the observer? From the top of this high building he is observing. So here is the eye of the observer. So in this way I draw the diagram. I show the angle of elevation. Next, the angle of depression of the top of a cable tower. Angle of depression of the foot. Okay. So this is the top of the cable tower. And this point is the foot. So the foot is below the eye of the observer, so that's why the angle of depression. So this is the line of sight. Now this is line of sight. Since the object, foot is the object now, this is below the eye, so this is the angle of depression, and according to the question, this is 45 degree. So I have drawn the correct diagram. So this understanding is important. Now when you can draw the diagram correctly, the rest of the part, your job is very easy. You have to find the height of the tower. That is very easy, you know. Now you see, this is 90, 90, this is also 90. Obviously this is a rectangle. So if I gave a name, say A, B, say C, D, and say this is E, okay? So ABCD is a rectangle. Therefore, opposite sides will be equal. AB is equal to DC and your AD is equal to BC. Opposite sides are equal and AB is given to be 7, therefore DC is equal to 7 meter. So this much is your 7 meter. Okay, fine. Now I can find out, okay. So only thing is that if I can find ED, then I know the total height. So now I'll apply trigonometry. So trigonometry ratio in the triangle, right triangle ADC. So in right triangle ADC. Now this is the angle theta. So DC is the perpendicular. So DC by AD is the base. DC by AD is equal to tan of 45 degree by the definition. And DC came out to be 7. So 7 by AD and tan 45 degree is 1. So therefore AD came out to be 7. So I know this 7. So I know this height, I know this angle, so I can very easily find out this. So now in right triangle ADE, yeah, this is E, ADE, tan of 60 degree, let me find out, tan of 60 degree, from this is theta, so perpendicular is ED, by base is your AD. Tan 60 is root 3, ED we have to find out, and AD we have found to be 7. So very easily we get the value of ED to be 7 root 3. ED is 7 root 3, AD is 7, therefore this height, therefore answer I am getting the height of the tower H is your ED plus just a minute, DC. ED plus DC. Okay. So ED I found to be 7 root 3, and DC is your 7. So you take common 7 into root 3 plus 1 meter. So that is the height of the cable tower. So in this way we can find out the required thing what we asked for. Okay. So next question is a bit different type. The question is that a straight highway leads to the foot of a tower. A man standing in the top of the tower observes a car at an angle of depression of 30 degree, which is approaching the foot of the tower with a uniform speed. So let me first draw the visualize the situation. So it is a highway. Let me draw the figure. It's a bigger size. So this is highway, and there is a straight highway, and this is a tower. This is tower. So this is straight highway leads to the foot of the tower. This is the foot of the tower. This is your foot of the tower. Now, okay. Now a man standing at the top of the tower. So this is the top of the tower. So here is the man here is the man. That means the eye of the observer is here. So let me first draw a horizontal line through the eye of the observer. Very important, whenever I locate the eye of the observer, I have to draw a horizontal line through the eye of the observer. Okay, the observer is standing at the top, so here is the eye of the observer. Now from here he is observing what? A car. So suppose here is the car, which is moving in this direction, moving towards the foot of the tower. So at this instant he observes the car, so the line of sight join eye with the object. So line of sight, and this is the horizontal line. So this will be the angle of depression, and according to the question this is 30 degree. So this is 30 degree. Now this is horizontal, this is horizontal, so these two parallel lines, this is transversal, so this will be also 30 degree by the alternate interior angles are equal. Okay. Next, what happens? This depression. Okay. Now the car is approaching the foot of the tower with a uniform speed. So the car is moving towards the foot of the, suppose with a speed, say, an uniform speed v, say v unit per. Now what time is given here? Second. So say per second. V unit per second. With this speed, it is moving in this way. Okay. So 6 seconds later, the angle of depression of the car is found to be 60 degrees. So from starting from here, after 6 seconds, suppose the car is at this point. So the line of sight will now become this. After 6 seconds, the line of sight is this. So the new angle of depression is this, and according to the question, it is 60 degree. 60 degree, and again, alternate interior angles are equal, so this is also 60 degree. So this is the situation. Now what you have to find? You have to find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower from this point. That is from this point to this point. This is the foot of the tower. So you have to find out the time taken in moving this distance. What time is taken in moving this distance? That is the question. So for doing this, what will I do? I'll be using the physics concept, that is the distance is equal to speed into time. S is equal to Vt. That is, when your body is moving in uniform speed, it is valid only for uniform speed. Then distance is equal to product of the speed and time. So I'll be using this one. So you see, let me give name, say, or let me write, say, the height of the tower, say h. Height of the tower is h, and this distance, what will be this distance? Tell me. Because time taken to move this from this point to this point, it took 6 seconds. So this distance will be speed into time. Speed is your v and time is your 6. So 6v is this distance, and let t second is the required time. That is, in moving this distance, t second is required, which you are asked to find. So by this distance will be, say this is say s1, this s2 will be, speed is same, constant speed v that I have written, v unit per second, and the time is now t. So this I can write down. So let me give name, it will be better. Say A, B, this point is C, and this is say this is C1, say this is C2. C1 is the initial position of the car, and C2 is the position of the car after 6 seconds. So now we'll apply in the triangle ABC1, or let me first write in right triangle AB. Let me take the smaller one, C2. This is the angle is 60 degree. So tan 60 degree is equal to perpendicular is your edge AB, or let me write AB, and base is BC2. So tan 60 is √3, and AB is your edge, and BC2. BC2 is found to be this. Let me write. This is BC2 actually, BT. So it is V into T, or H is equal to √3 into V into T. Say equation 1. So from this triangle I got it equation 1. I expressed H in terms of this, because I want to eliminate H. I want to find T only. I have nothing to do with H. So now we'll apply in right triangle, the other right triangle ABC1. The angle is 30 degree, tan 30 degree. This is the triangle ABC1. Tan 30 is equal to again AB by BC1. AB by BC1. It is tan 30 is 1 by √3. AB is your H. BC1, what is BC1? Now you see, this BC1 is equal to BC2 plus C2C1. BC2 plus C2C1. Or I can write in this way, H upon BC2 is your VT plus this is your 6V. 6b, because this is your BC2 actually. This is your C2C1. C2C1 is 6b. This and this, sum of these two I have written here. Okay, and then what will I do? So 1 by root 3 is equal to, now this h can be replaced by this root 3b. Let me write root 3 v into t upon, here I take v common, so it is t plus 6. So what happens is v be getting cancelled. Here used equation 1, using equation 1 here. I have replaced h by this. So now you simply cross multiply. So root 3 into root 3 is 3t. Therefore 3t by cross multiplying, 3t is equal to t plus 6. And therefore twice t is 6. Therefore twice t is equal to 6, which gives you t is equal to 3. So the answer is 3 seconds. That is, find the time taken by the car to reach the foot of the tower. That is, from this point to reach the foot of the tower, the car takes 3 seconds. That's the answer. So in this way, if I express the diagram in this way and using this concept, so easily we can get the answers. And you see, when two angles are given, two angle of elevation or depression, in this case is depression, okay. So two right triangles are having two different acute angles. So from these two, I'm getting two equations using tan ratio, and then I can eliminate one of the unknown variable. So actually, and this b is getting eliminated in this way. So I think this is very easy way of solving this question. Okay, I think we have understood the thing. Okay, that's all for today.